What is up, everyone? Nick here. Welcome to the show. If you're new, thanks for coming back. If you're not, we have a ton of news coming out of the NIO HQ today. I'm going to get you all up to speed with the happenings through the past week, where the company is moving in the short term, and some concerns I have moving forward. This is going to be a jam-packed episode. Buckle up. Sorry, I'll never say that again. Webull is giving out 2 free stocks worth up to $1,850. All you have to do is use the link in my description. You could trade before and after hours markets. They are 0% commission. It really is a win-win. If you want more content, check out our Patreon page. This also gives you access to our private Discord channel. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get right into it, ladies and gents. So let's start off by taking a look at their share price. We had a fairly rocky week, trading down substantially, around 8.45% throughout the course of the week. Now, it's important to note that this slump was market-wide and centered on tech and growth, not NIO-specific by any means. I know at least my portfolio took somewhat of a beating, but hey, that's investing, kids. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. The calculated and steadfast will always prevail. Now, NIO on today's trading made a modest recovery, up 26 cents to finish the day at 36.94. Okay, jumping right into it. We just received word that the European expansion is not going to end just with Norway. This is extremely exciting news. I'll be getting to it shortly, but I wanted to start this ep off by looking at the Norway expansion that we gained insight into just yesterday, for those who missed it. I'll also give my own thoughts on what this expansion means for the company and ultimately their shares. So in the past few weeks, these circulating rumors surrounding NIO's first international expansion, being Norway, indeed did come to fruition. This was the obvious choice for the company for many reasons. Norway has extensive subsidy programs, EV incentives, and they are a progressively mindseted country. They were actually the first country on the globe to surpass the 50% of all new vehicles sold being BEV mark. Now, at the NIO Norway Expansion Conference, we finally gained the detailed information into the expansion we had all been waiting for. Let's start off at the top. The company will begin shipping their Model ES8s, the first, largest, and most importantly, their most expensive model. This makes a lot of sense, as with losing typically a flat fee on the transport and logistics of shipment, companies will opt to move their most expensive models. We will almost certainly see their other models, the ES6 and EC6, likely hit the country shortly after. I wouldn't be surprised to see Q1 2022. Their luxury sedan coming onto the market next year, also Q1 2022, the beautiful ET7, will be available for delivery in Norway in 2022. This is quite amazing. They'll nearly have a domestic and international rollout simultaneously occurring. This is very impressive from a logistics standpoint. Clear they do see the ET7 and sedans performing well in the European market. Lee Bin, in a press conference last year, stated that he believes NIO will be able to deliver around 7,000 vehicles over the course of 2 years in the international market. However, I do think this number is extremely conservative and no longer representative of what they have going. King Lee Hong, the company's president, states that NIO doesn't have sales targets as of yet in the European market, but I do think the company is quietly and secretly thinking big things. However, remember, this all leads back to the semiconductor shortage. I'll close off the episode talking about that. We do know they'll begin delivering in Norway very shortly, in Q3, likely September of this year. I'm extremely excited about this. It's not out of left field, as we did know their Karl Johan showroom was opening up in Oslo in September, so this perfectly coincides with that. Now, what I think NIO does better than almost any other vehicle company on the planet, save maybe Tesla, is forming an immense amount of brand equity. Their marketing, branding, and lifestyling of being more than just a vehicle company is really hitting home and drawing in additional consumers. We saw this same sentiment take over Tesla during their early years and is still growing by the minute. Tesla is a community, and they're generating a cult-like following. We're really seeing the beginnings of this take place in NIO as well. And this has real-world implications, don't forget it. This typically relates to increased sales, and the company can also then afford to spend less on actual marketing costs, as word of mouth carries increased sales percentages with it. Having good products leads to free marketing. Now, we see NIO opening up 4 new NIO spaces in cities across Norway. Now, spaces are similar to the flagship NIO houses, however they're smaller in square footage, much more cost efficient, and allow customers who are interested in NIOs to have access to more convenient locations. And they also act as advertisements. Now, what I'm extremely excited about is the rollout of the battery swap station in Norway. This was questioned by many, some thinking it not feasible. However, the company stated that they would indeed be constructing and implementing their swap stations, specifically 4 of them, across Norway. Now, these will be predominantly within high traffic core cities, and the company will likely have to rely heavily on its fast charging piles, superchargers, and third party for the time being. This being said, the company does plan on expanding the European swapping infrastructure by building an additional 12 in 2022, quite modest compared to their 500 in China. We need to remember that NIO is by no means cash strapped anymore. They have a massive war chest, over $7 billion USD, and I do expect them to really bring the hammer down in the European market in the coming couple of years. The EV battle is growing fiercer by the day. We are seeing a lot of legacy brands now moving into the space. Finally, really way too late in my opinion, but we are seeing them in the space. Now, NIO is welcoming in the competition. They still see their company just leagues better than a lot of these legacy brands, and I tend to agree. However, it is essential that the company establish a market before the others can. We are seeing more push into brand equity and awareness. The company, through NIO Life, is now collaborating with 2 Norwegian artists and launching its first Norway collection. Again, I really do like this, lots of brand equity here. Now, in terms of margins, we have learned that NIO will not be seeking increased gross margins in the Norwegian market as of yet. They are taking tariffs and logistics into consideration when pricing, however, they are still looking to achieve gross margins of around 20%. This is still incredibly impressive considering just how young of a company they are. This is where it really pays to be a luxury company. NIO's primary objective currently is not actually achieving profitability, something a lot of NIO investors aren't stomaching too well. However, they're a growth company. Growth comes before profitability. They could be using different tactics to become profitable. However, they see much more importance in gaining market share and establishing their brand in the European market currently. Alright, now we are gaining insight that Lee Bin now expects NIO to enter 5 European countries and begin delivering next year. 5 new countries. This is incredible. Now, the 5 countries specifically were not disclosed. We can speculate though. I'm assuming France is going to be one of them. I wouldn't be surprised to see other Scandinavian countries on there. However, let me know what you think. Hit me up in the comments. Let's start a discussion. This is very exciting and bullish news. Like I was stating, it's a now or never mentality for the company, and I do think a massive proportion of their war chest is specifically designed for a European expansion. We do know the company will not be designing smaller vehicles for Europe. However, there will be adjusted software specific for the European market moving forward. I do think NIO's next sedan after the ET7 will likely be smaller than the ET7, and this will also likely be implemented into the European market. This is where, of course, smaller vehicles typically dominate. Now, Lee Bin also touched on the North American market, stating that because they already have a team there, expansion will be easily facilitated. This is huge. I would not be surprised to see NIO within the United States within a 2-year time frame. Now, this expansion is all great and dandy, do not get me wrong. I love that they're building new NIO houses, new NIO spaces, new battery swapping infrastructure. However, the problem continues to come back to semiconductor shortages. This has plagued the entire vehicle industry and unfortunately is not expected to be fully mitigated anytime soon. Analysts have their eyes set on Q3 for a mitigation, however, we will have to follow this. Lee Bin also went on record stating that it's likely to get worse before it gets better. NIO models with their autonomous driving capabilities are extremely chip heavy, and I do think this continued crisis is going to really affect them for some time. I'm quite concerned about this. I will have a full video on this subject shortly. Now, lastly, we had some fun little info coming out on their autonomous driving. The company is reporting that NIO Pilot range, so the mileage that NIO customers used the autonomous driving feature, is up a cumulative 278% from the same period of last year. These are extremely impressive numbers and really indicates the future of autonomous driving. It's clear that NIO's bet into the autonomous driving feature is going to pay off dividends in the coming years. During the May holiday, NIO users drove more than 4.7 million kilometers on the feature. They're using it for longer percentages of time. The battery swapping service numbers are also up substantially as well, around 245%. One click for power up over 100%. Really great numbers coming in here left, right, and center. All in all, a very exciting time for the company. Again, with less delivery news, they are going to have to rely on this expansion news for the short term. However, I've got you all covered. Don't forget about the Webull promo, 2 free stocks worth up to 1,850 for free. You could trade before and after hours markets. All you have to do is use the link in my description. You really cannot lose with this one. Anyways, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, happy trading, cheers.